What's up, YouTube comic book fam, and welcome back to another video. It's that time of week again where we take a look at all the best and worst comic book covers hitting your local comic book shelves for this new comic book Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Can you believe we're already in July? We are coming up on the Super Bowl of geekdom, the mecca of nerdism. I'm talking about San Diego Comic-Con. That's right, we are just a few short weeks from all the craziness that bestows itself upon San Diego one weekend at the end of July for all of us to get together and nerd out on all the news, rumors, and announcements coming out from San Diego Comic-Con. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a look at all the new comic books hitting store shelves this week, and we can get a decisive idea on what the best and worst covers of the week are. Now, like we did last time, we're going to start with our best cover of the week and our worst cover of the week before we get into individual covers from DC, Marvel, Independence, and a couple of honorary mentions this week. All right, what do you say we kick things off as we get into our best cover of the week? Goes to this Lee Bermejo Black Cat variant on Spider-Man number 7. Lee Bermejo has absolutely been killing it lately with these Amazing Spider-Man books, and Amazing Spider-Man 7 is no different. The reason I think this is the best cover of the week is this cover is a fantastic blend of character, action, and atmosphere. It perfectly captures the dynamic and often complicated relationship between Spider-Man and Black Cat, making it incredibly appealing. It's stylish, it's classic, and it just makes you want to immediately pick it up, dive into the latest adventure. This cover definitely webs up the competition for best cover of the week. This cover is pure comic book gold and effortlessly takes the best of the week crown. You've got the one and only Spider-Man mid-swing looking perfectly dynamic, while the incredibly stylish and always sexy Black Cat is perched on a rooftop, giving us that knowing, confident gaze. It's the iconic duo doing iconic things in a perfectly iconic setting. And moving on to our, well, the worst of the worst. That's got to go to old Frankie boy, Frank Miller himself, on this Captain America number 1. We got a Captain America re-release this week as we go back to a new number 1, but we do continue that legacy number. And I have to give this the worst cover of the week because this cover is just chaotic, jumbled up mess. It lacks the clear focus, the powerful imagery, and the sense of excitement that makes a great Captain America comic book cover. It's messy, it's a bit bewildering, unfortunately, it makes Captain America look less like a super soldier and more like he just walked into a very poorly constructed house of cards. Better luck next week, Frank and Cap. Yeah, it looks like he was just standing in front of a mirror and decided to go, what's up? This is for all my juggalos and jiggalettes. It looks like he just stood up and said, whoop, whoop, this is for all my juggalos and juggalettes. Don't try this at home, before he just dived headfirst through a pane of glass. Just a little ridiculous. Captain America, buddy, what happened here? It's like he's either just tripped over his own shield or got caught in a very aggressive pillow fight. He's shattering into a million pieces. It's just a weird cover. Like I said before, better luck next time, Frankie boy. You're a legend, but as we see it, if you're a professional wrestling fan, all legends have to retire at some point. It might be time to think about walking away, Frankie boy. I appreciate everything you've given us, but this cover right here ain't it. Moving on to DC Comics. We have a few books from DC Comics this week. And starting off for DC Comics, we have this Absolute Green Lantern number 4. And our best cover of the week for Absolute Green Lantern number 4, of course, is going to go to the A cover here. This cover delivers on all fronts. It's visually striking, full of dynamic action, highlights a fantastic character, and perfectly encapsulates the power and wonder of Green Lantern Corp. It makes you want to immediately grab this issue, dive into the epic confrontation it promises. This one shines brighter than freshly charged power ring and makes it undeniably the best cover on this book this week. Now we shift gears to a not so great cover. We have this Juliet Nakia variant. This cover is undoubtedly artistic, but for a mainstream superhero comic, it's a bit of a misstep. It lacks the iconic imagery and vibrant energy and the promise of adventure that readers typically look for in a Green Lantern title. It's a pretty painting, but pretty boring comic cover, landing it squarely in the worst cover of the week pile on Green Lantern. Absolute Green Lantern, number 4. Moving on to Birds of Prey, number 23, as part of this DC All-In line. And our best cover for Birds of Prey, number 23, goes to this cover C, the Serge Akana variant. Sorry if I mispronounced that, Serge, but this is a banger of a cover, as this cover is the perfect blend of style, mystery, and a clear call to action. For the reader, that is. It's moody, it's intriguing, and it perfectly encapsulates the Birds of Prey vibe of heroes solving big problems. It's not flashy for the sake of it. Every element works together to create a compelling image that demands your attention. Definitely a winner of the week. No missing pieces here. And for our not so great cover of the week, and it's not that it's a bad cover. It's just that there's got to be one and all. And it goes to this Nimit Mavea variant. This cover tries to be dramatic and impactful, but it just ends up being overwhelming and visually jarring. The giant screaming head is more comical than imposing. The color palette is aggressive, and the overall composition feels unbalanced. It's a cover that makes you squint, not swoon, earning it a top spot for the worst covers of the week list on this title. Like I said, still not a bad cover, but every book has to have one, and I just felt like this one here with the giant screaming head just kind of misses the mark this week. Moving on to our next book, we have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 2. That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
The best cover of the week on Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla 2 has to go to this Alan Quav connecting variant. This cover delivers on every promise of its title. It's epic, it's action-packed, it highlights iconic characters and monsters brilliantly, and it instantly makes you want to dive into the story. It's a masterclass in monster mashup and mayhem, and easily secures its top spot in the reigning champion of the week. Now we got to go, of course, from every good, there is a bad. For every yin, there's a yang. For every positive, there's a negative. And that goes to this cover B, Yazan Parturi variant. Sorry if I butchered that. While it's amusing, this cover sacrifices gravitas for a gag. In a series that promises earth-shattering kaiju fights, showing a character more concerned with their likes than the giant monsters rampaging just feels wrong. It's trying too hard to be quirky, undermining the very epicness the title promises. Definitely a swipe left for this week's cover champion. Now we're going to go right into Gotham City Sirens number 1, Unfit for Orbit. And our best cover of the week on Gotham City Sirens number 1 goes to this Kaya Young Amon variant. This cover is everything you want from a Gotham City Sirens comic. It's stylish, it's sexy without being exploitative. It's visually stunning, and it promises a fun, action-packed adventure with 3 of Gotham's most beloved and dangerous ladies. It's a perfect blend of character, art, and mood, making it a clear winner for this week. And again, from a winner, we got to go to a loser, and it goes to its 1 in 25 Helen Mask variant. This cover tries to be an elegant and artistic, but it ends up being dull and visually overwhelming with an excessive frame. It takes a vibrant character like Poison Ivy and traps her in a static, uninspired taboo that lacks the energy and excitement a comic cover needs. It's a masterpiece that should probably stay in the attic and definitely earns the worst cover of the week list on this book for its snooze-inducing stately appeal. That's it for DC. Now we're going to move on into see what Marvel Comics has to offer for us this week. And first up in Marvel Comics, we have Ultimate Wolverine number 7. I hope you guys are reading this Ultimate Wolverine book and enjoying it as much as I am. And our best cover of the week, 125 Fabrizio da Tommaso variant. This cover is a masterful example of character, mood, and artistic expression and execution. It's iconic, dynamic, and visually beautiful, instantly communicating the raw, powerful, and gritty determination of Wolverine. It doesn't need explanation or a dozen characters to make an impact. Its strength lies in the simplicity and undeniably cool factor. This one slices through the competition to become the best cover of the week. And from best, we go to worst, and it's this Lucio Perillo variant. It's not that it's bad, but man, he's got mini claws. It looks like he needs some Cialis or Blue Chew for them claws. While the art itself is well rendered, this cover for a superhero comic is surprisingly bland in the composition and storytelling. It focuses on a single intense expression without giving an exact context or any hint of the adventure inside. It's a bit one note and fails to capture the dynamic energy that makes Wolverine so compelling. It's a good portrait, but a less than great comic book cover, making it a contender for worst cover of the week on this book. And from a powerhouse mutant, we move into even more mutants. We have X-Men number 19, Rise of the Heir of Apocalypse. And our best cover on this book this week goes to this 1 in 50 Godtail Warlock Virgin variant. This cover is a fantastic example of bold, imaginative character design combined with explosive energy and vibrant colors. It's visually arresting, promises a wild ride, and makes this new character instantly memorable. It's not subtle, and it doesn't need to be. It's a pure comic book spectacle that wins the week with a powerful, glowing punch. And we have our worst cover of the week. Goes to this Ryan Stegman A cover here. This cover tries to introduce new characters with an air of mystery, but it just ends up being visually cluttered and lacking a clear focal point. It's too dark, it's too busy with unfamiliar faces, and doesn't give you any immediate reason to pick it up. It's a visual shrug, earning it as a solid spot as the worst cover of the week for X-Men 19. From X-Men 19, we go into Amazing Spider-Man. Now, I think you already know what the best cover of the week is going to be on this Amazing Spider-Man book, but we get our first full appearance of Hell's Gate in this issue number 7, with John Romita Jr. back doing the art and Joe Kelly still killing it with his writing. I'm so sad to see Pepe Raza gone and John Romita Jr. back, but what can you do? Hopefully it is only for a short period of time. Our best cover of the week, we don't need to go over it again, is this Lee Bermejo Black Cat variant, because like I said, Lee Bermejo is just absolutely killing it with his covers on these books since issue 1. Our worst cover of the week, we go into this Dole variant on Black Cat. This cover misses the mark by turning a dynamic character into a static, slightly creepy centerpiece. The odd choice of the Spider-Man hanging from the beads, combined with the unengaged pose, that flat background, makes it feel like more like a fan art commission gone wrong than a compelling comic book cover. It's a perfect candidate for worst cover of the week on Spider-Man number 7. Moving into Avengers 28, Avengers Reunited. Best cover on this is this Rod Reese variant. This cover is everything a modern superhero comic book cover should be: dynamic, powerful, and visually striking, and full of exciting characters. It promises an epic story within its pages and perfectly captures the essence of Earth's mightiest heroes. It's an undisputed winner, absolutely smashing the competition for best cover of the week on Avengers 28. And then we turn to worst cover of the week. This cover tries to hit a nostalgic note, but it mostly just feels stiff, visually jarring and a bit goofy. The main villain isn't intimidating, and the action feels more like a staged photo than a real battle. It's a retro variant that probably should have stayed in the past, earning it the worst cover of the week for its unretro appeal. Now we move into Daredevil number 23, and our best cover of the week on Daredevil number 3 goes to this Ricky Yagua variant. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but this cover, it's got everything you want in a comic cover: a powerful hero, menacing villain, incredible action, and the art that just pulls you right into the fight. It's not just a picture, it's a promise of an epic battle. This cover doesn't just ask you to pick it up, it practically demands it. And our worst cover of the week on Daredevil 23 goes to this Leonardo Romero Retro Vision variant. This cover's attempt at a retro charm falls flat, resulting in a stiff, disjointed, and visually unexciting image. The characters lack dynamicism, the colors are uninspired, and the overall composition feels more like a rough draft than a polished cover. It's a nostalgic trip that hits a few too many potholes on the way to worst cover of the week. Moving on, we got this Captain America number 1. Like I said, we are relaunching Captain America, and I think you know what the worst cover of the week is, but if you got an idea what the best cover of the week is, well, I'm about to tell you. As best cover of the week goes to this 1 in 25 Valerio Chati variant. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This cover isn't just good, it's patriotically perfect. Perfect for the 4th of July coming up. It encapsulates everything you love about Captain America: strength, heroism, and the unwavering spirit. It's bold, it's beautiful, and it screams "read me" louder than a bald eagle at a rock concert. It's a true star-spangled slam dunk for best cover of the week on Captain America number 1. And of course, we already went over it. Our worst cover of the week goes to this Frank Miller variant. Not much has changed. Still not a fan. Just a big swing and a miss on this one, Frankie boy. And we move on to Immortal Thor, an event Even an immortal can die. Issue 25, the story ends the final issue in this Death of Thor story arc, and the best cover of the week goes to this Alex Ross A cover. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterpiece of comic grandeur. It promises an epic universe-shaking story with the art that both is breathtaking and intimidating. It's got layers of wonder, mystery, and impending doom all rolled into a glorious package. This is the kind of cover that makes you say, shut up and take my money, Odin. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And for a cover that says, shut up and take my money, for a cover that says, you know, I think I might need to buy coffee tomorrow. We got this 125 Greg Land variant. Greg Land has been really hit or miss. Some real bangers, some not so great. Not that this is terrible, but with the other Thor covers out there on Immortal Thor 25, this one just didn't make the cut. This cover is a symphony of missed opportunities. The main figure is lifeless, the monsters are forgettable, and the background is a snooze fest. It lacks any real energy, drama, or compelling visual storytelling. It's the kind of cover that makes you think, did they run out of ink? It's just blah. So blah. Basic. But now we're going to move on to all new Venom number 8. As Venom battles the symbiote squad at the Daily Bugle, the sleeper agent attempts a daring jailbreak on North Brothers Island. But of course, our best cover of the week goes to this Adam Kubert A cover on this book here. This cover is a masterclass in dynamic, character-driven action. It's got tension, it's got clear villain, and it's got Venom looking utterly ferocious. It's everything you want from a comic book cover. Exciting, visually striking, and a hint of a story that's going to be an absolute brawl between Venom and Dr. Octopus, who are not so great covers. Not that it's bad. I actually kind of like it, but as far as the other Venom covers go, this one kind of was a head scratcher. This Fan Yang Venom variant, while technically proficient art, this cover is a complete tonal mismatch for a Venom comic. It's pretty, but it's utterly devoid of excitement, action, or anything that screams superhero showdown. It's so subdued and out of place that it makes you wonder if it was meant for a different series entirely. This cover is an instant swipe left if you're looking for an actual comic book experience. Rolling into an actual comic book experience, we have Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe One Last Time, number 4. And of course, our best cover of the week goes to this 1 in 25 Philip Tran variant. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterpiece of mischievous mayhem. It perfectly encapsulates the premise of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe with humor, over-the-top action, brilliant character interactions. It's bold, it's funny, and it promises exactly the kind of zany, destructive fun that only Deadpool can deliver. It's a total knockout pun, absolutely intended. Moving on to our not-so-great cover of the week, we got the Declan Shelby variant. Sorry, again, if I butchered that. This cover is a bit of a letdown. It attempts a dramatic moment, but falls flat due to the awkward poses. The overly gory and not in a fun way depiction of Deadpool and the completely uninspired background, it just doesn't capture the humor and the wild energy that makes Deadpool great. It's like watching a wrestling match where both competitors are half asleep. And what's going on with Thor? Look at that tiny little arm. Look at the tiny little arm on Deadpool and the massive arm in the proportions are way off. Thor looks more like he's auditioning for Beavis and Butthead than he does battling Deadpool. The best part about that is Deadpool's jaw getting broken off. But even then, everything else is so disproportionate, so weird looking. It just doesn't hit for me. Moving on to Godzilla vs. Thor number 1. And of course, I think you know what the best cover of the week is. It's got to be this Aaron Kadar A cover. This cover is a masterclass in scale, tension, and epic confrontation. It's got the iconic monster looking his most menacing and the heroic god looking his most determined against impossible odds. It's dramatic, visually stunning, and promises a showdown of truly colossal proportions. This cover doesn't just invite you to read, it dares you to look away. And for a cover that doesn't do that at all, maybe has you looking away, we have this Eric M. Gist Marvel Universe variant. This cover is a chaotic collage that fails to capture the epic scale and excitement of a Godzilla vs. Thor battle. It's poorly composed, the characters look uninspired, and Godzilla is regulated to a faded background prop. It's a who's who of heroes, but it doesn't make you care about any of them or the monumental clash that's supposed to be happening. This cover is an instant skip. And we move on to X-Men Hellfire Vigil number 1. And my pick for best cover of the week on this X-Men Hellfire Vigil #1 goes to this 1 in 50 Rose Besh Virgin variant. There is a Rose Besh open order cover on this book as well, but I just feel like this cover is a work of art that completely stands out. It's elegant, unique, and captures a fantastical beauty that's rarely seen on comic covers. It's not about explosions or punches. It's about pure, unadulterated visual allure and the power of subtle magic. This cover doesn't just invite you to read, it hypnotizes you into picking it up. In a book that might hypnotize you to stay away, we have this Akka variant. This cover, despite the artistic merit, is a complete tonal mismatch for a major X-Men #1 launch, especially one tied to the Hellfire Gala. It's too subdued, too melancholic, and utterly lacks the punch, power, and excitement that an X-Men fan craves. It's elegant, but ultimately it's a miss in the grand symphony of X-Men covers. Moving on, for our Star Wars fans, we have Star Wars Jedi Knights #5. And of course, our best cover of the week goes to this Raza cover here. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterclass in Star Wars heroism. It's got the iconic characters we love, the signature lightsaber action, and hints at exciting new adventures. It's dynamic, beautiful, illustrated, and perfectly captures the spirit of the Jedi Knights. This cover screams, the Force is strong with this one. And it's one that you should be picking up if you're a Star Wars fan. To a not so great cover, yeah, it's a Yaddle cover. This Dan Jurgens classic homage variant. This cover, despite featuring iconic characters, just falls flat. The character depictions are a bit off, the poses are awkward, and the background is completely forgettable. It lacks the dynamic energy, the sense of wonder, or the thrilling action that makes Star Wars so captivating. It's the kind of cover that makes you think, did a committee design this in their lunch break? This one gets sent to the Sarlacc pit of mediocrity. Flying out of that Sarlacc pit like Boba Fett, we got Bring On the Bad Guys, Green Goblin #1. And of course, we got another banger Lee Bermejo cover. Lee Bermejo, keep killing it, my friend. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterclass in villainous terror. It perfectly captures the sadistic glee and formidable threat of the Green Goblin. It's intense, visually striking, and promises a dark, thrilling ride. This cover screams, welcome to my nightmare, and that makes you want to immediately see what kind of havoc he's about to unleash. Pick up Lee Bermejo's A cover for Green Goblin, Bring On the Bad Guys. And one to avoid, you could avoid this Aaron Cooter variant altogether. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterclass in villainous psychology. It puts Green Goblin front and center, showcasing his iconic look and terrifying personality. It's visually compelling, promises a dark, twisted story that makes you eager to see what kind of havoc he's about to unleash. This cover is a glorious salute to one of Marvel's best bad guys, but there's no detail in the pumpkin bombs. They look a little too happy to be there. They look more like smiley face emojis than they do pumpkin bombs. That doesn't really look like Green Goblin back there. There's just not a whole lot to feel out in this book. So I just kind of felt like this cover, even though it's not terrible, didn't quite do it for me compared to the likes of that Lee Bermejo cover. Moving on to Deadpool and Wolverine #1, or Wolverine and Deadpool #1. Our cover of the week goes to this Terry and Clarkey variant. This cover isn't just good, it's chaotically cool. It perfectly captures the frantic energy and contrasting styles of Wolverine and Deadpool multiplied by 2. It's dynamic, visually engaging, and promises a ridiculously fun and action-packed story. This cover screams, get ready for a wild ride, bub. And from a cover that screams that to a cover that doesn't quite scream that, we have this Andrea D. Vito Retro Vision variant. This cover, despite its noble attempt at retro charm, ends up being a bit of a dud. The poses are static, the composition is bland, and the overabundance of text distracts from what little action there is. It lacks the explosive energy and unique personality that makes both Wolverine and Deadpool so compelling. This one gets sent to the comic book bargain bin, if you ask my opinion. That's it for Marvel. We're going to go ahead and move into our independents this week. And first up on our independents, we have The Walking Dead 116, All Out War Part 2 of 12. And of course, our best cover of the week on this book goes to Charlie Adler, the OG, other than Tony Daniels, the OG Walking Dead artist, the artist who I think without Tony Daniels and his art on this book, where would The Walking Dead be? Because when Tony Daniels left, Charlie Adler picked up right where he left off and gave life to some really iconic characters. This cover isn't just good, it's a tour de France of zombie horror. It's intense, visually gripping, and immediately plunges you into the brutal reality of the series. It promises an unflinching look at the apocalypse, and it delivers on that promise with terrifying accuracy. This cover makes you want to lock your doors and check for groaning noises under the bed. And for a book that just makes you wonder, is this Keanu Reeves? Who is this? We have this Matt Wagner connecting variant. This cover is a bit of a snooze fest. The main character's pose is stiff, the zombies are oddly passive, and the colors are surprisingly unapocalyptic. It lacks the tension, the visceral horror, and the immediate sense of a threat that makes The Walking Dead so compelling. It's a miss that'll have a zombie shrugging their shoulders instead of shuffling after you. Then we move into Grimm number 23, and our best cover of the week on this Grimm number 23 goes to this Dan Panozin, boom, 20th anniversary variant. Dan Panozin been killing it lately on books as well. This cover is no different. It isn't just good. This cover is a masterclass in character design and mood setting. It's sleek, stylish, and incredibly captivating, perfectly capturing the dark fantasy aesthetic of Grimm. It's visually striking and promises a compelling otherworldly adventure. This cover grabs your attention and refuses to let it go. But from a cover that grabs your attention and refuses to let it go to a cover that, begs for you to look the other way and not pay attention to it at all, we got this Grimm. I didn't put the artist name on it. I apologize. I think this is the B cover. Maybe it's the C cover, but this cover is a visual head scratcher. It sacrifices any sense of menace or narrative for a bizarre aesthetic that feels completely disconnected from the comic's theme. It's bland, uninspired, and frankly, a bit of a snooze fest. This one gets a grimacing thumbs down. Up next, we have Power Rangers Prime number 8, and our best cover of the week on Power Rangers number 8 goes to, that isn't another Dan Panozin cover, is it? Did I forget to? No, it is. This is a 1 in 20 Dan Panozin Boom 20th anniversary Virgin variant on Power Rangers. I like this cover from the sleek armor details to the gleam of the sword. Every inch of this cover screams hero moment. If this cover could talk, this one would say, step aside, I've got this. And to our worst cover of the week, we got this Colin Griffin variant. When it comes to this cover, it's not bad. Honestly, not by a long shot. It's just that with so much happening, it loses a bit of that crisp focus that makes a cover truly memorable. It's got action, but perhaps a touch too much distraction. Still, you can't say it's not trying its best to make a statement, and I applaud it for that. But as far as the other covers go, it was the weakest one on this book this week. And now we're gonna move into this Johanna Naked Aggression number 1 from Image Comics. Our best cover of the week goes to this 1 in 25 Matteo Scalera Virgin variant. This cover is the absolute best because it's visually captivating, hints at a vast and interesting world, and makes you desperately want to know who all these characters are and what role they play. It's a who's who of awesome that says, come on in, the mayhem is fine. And from a great cover to a not so great cover, but also not terrible cover, we have this Yamamoto variant. While both characters are clearly ready for a fight, the overall impression is a bit of a two great tastes that don't quite blend situation. It's got plenty of punch, but it might just leave you scratching your head a little as to what the punchline is. And that's it for our independent books. Now we're going to move on to our honorable mentions. We have Mark Brooks' Ghost Spider-Gwen number 15 book. This cover is pure eye candy. It's got a stunning, charismatic hero in a fantastic pose, a killer costume, and a color palette that just screams, look at me. It's energetic, stylish, and perfectly captures the essence of Spider-Gwen as Ghost Spider. This cover doesn't just sell a comic, it sells the whole vibe, and I'm totally buying it. Next up, we have Medieval Spawn, this Francisco Sabatini variant. This cover isn't just good, it's a masterpiece of fantasy adventure. It perfectly blends classic dragon lore with a gritty aesthetic of Medieval Spawn. It's dynamic, visually stunning, and promises a dark, thrilling journey into a world of monsters and heroes. This cover screams, prepare for glory and guts. Get your swords ready, because Spawn and Medieval Spawn number 3 is about to take you on a ride. And from Medieval Spawn taking you on a ride, we're going to look at Grim Tales of Terror number 7, this Josh Burns variant. This cover is the best of the week on this book because it's striking, captivating, and full of personality. It manages to be both a little bit ominous and utterly captivating, making you desperately want to dive into whatever dark adventures await. It's got that I'm secretly the coolest person in the graveyard energy that's simply irresistible. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all of our best and worst covers for the week that are hitting your comic book shelves this week. Let me know in the comment section below, what are you picking up? What did you think of this list? Did you agree? Did you disagree? What did I miss? What should have been on there? Let me know. And while you're doing that, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you know whenever we upload any more comic book or geeky goodness on this channel. Make sure to check out my Thursday video when we go over all the things that we picked up at the shop this week, and we give a little review on those books as well. If you want more best and worst covers goodness from last week, make sure to check out that video that'll be here at the end of the video. Without further ado, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great week. Enjoy New Comic Book Wednesday. Get out there, enjoy some new comics, and we'll see you right back here next week around the spinner rack.
In the shadows we gather, share